intervening in specific wars that aren't directly related to the United States. But if you think about in the Israel case, one thing to say here is their rate limiting step is not money. Israel's not running out of money. They're running out of diplomatic air cover, diplomatic support to do what they need to do. So it's sort of this silly thing, which, they're short on diplomatic support. Let's send over cash versus what we're not doing enough of, which is actually diplomatically standing for the principle that Israel absolutely has a right to defend itself. Go to Ukraine, similar sort of first principle. We have to recognize that Ukraine, yes, had a border that was breached by Russia. At the same time, the United States has not kept its own commitments from the early 1990s to support the expansion of NATO. So do a deal that restores those first principles. NATO's not going to expand to include Ukraine. Say that explicitly rather than the opposite, which is what we're saying today, which is that NATO will definitely admit Ukraine at some point in the future. Mm-hmm. Use that to pull Russia apart from China, extract some concessions from Russia to be able to say they're no longer going to be able to do joint military exercises with China. So I do think it's not to say foreign policy is just like running a business, but just because you don't trust somebody doesn't mean you can't trust them to follow their own self-interest. So understand the self-interest of each of the actors, use that to our own advantage to advance American interests, and peace is in America's interest. And that's exactly how I would do it.
And I appreciate you kind of giving some detail to this because Netanyahu isn't coming here hat in hand asking for money. Mm-hmm. He's literally saying, can we just do what we need to do to defend ourselves and win this war? Meanwhile, Zelensky's over here literally fundraising and shaming Congress if they don't pass $100 billion of aid to Ukraine. It's totally different.
Yeah, I don't love it when somebody is coming here shaming us for not giving us the next $100 billion when they can't tell us what he did with the first $100 billion. Yeah. I do have a problem with that.
Vinny, you look like you want to say something.
Well, I mean, I think I agree 100%. Nobody should, tell them how to defend themselves. But I think the fact that people can't criticize. You mentioned, Vivek, which was one of my biggest things that I was standing on, was 2 weeks after October 7th, John Kirby stood in front of America, and the reporters are like, can you tell what happened? And he goes, you know what? There's going to be a time. Now's not the time. It's almost been 7 months. Still no answers. Mm-hmm. Israel's doing what they have to do. Some people are saying it's a little bit overboard. Especially, Adam, you said half the people that were killed, the 30,000 are Hamas soldiers. I haven't heard that number. I heard it was way less. The majority of the people that have been killed are women and children. I get it. They want to kill Hamas. They want to get after them.